I'm gonna start playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Any objections? Oh, there's gonna be plenty of objections. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So I've never actually played the first Phoenix Wright. My first exposure to this game was a Let's Play of I believe the fourth case in this game. And I enjoyed it. So then sometime later I found Justice for All at a flea market, so I picked it up. I've beaten that one. And I've played about half of... I'm gonna turn this down a little bit on my end. See how blasting over loud this is, how drowned out I am in post. Then I played about half of Trials and Tribulations on the Wii. And only just recently stumbled across this on the PS4 store. I didn't even know Phoenix Wright was on anything other than Nintendo systems. So we're gonna start playing through Phoenix Wright in a Let's Play format, at least right now. Okay, so let's go into Options, BGM. I'm actually gonna... we'll leave it at 2. If it's bad, it's bad. Full auto skip, hold, circle. Okay, we're probably gonna want that at some point. Screen shake. Oh yeah, we gotta have it be as bombastic as possible. Vibration. Text box, transparency, low. Yeah, there, oh, it shows me. Okay, low, transparency. Japanese, French, German, Korean, Chinese, traditional. Imagine that. And the credits. We can watch the credits. So we're now... First save of the game. So let's get started with a new game of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Gonna be a lot of reading, so... Play this game. Yeah, Justice for All, Trials and Tribulations, but let's start with Ace Attorney. I love how it says play this game. Well, let's play this game. See what happens. Episode 1, the first Turnabout. Can I even do other episodes yet? Probably not. Does that mean I can repeat episodes? It might. Play the first turn? Sure. Let's see how badly we can fail this first part here. Hey, we got a trophy already. Breakneck speed. Gasp, gasp. Why is the thinker bleeding? It's a stone oh, goodness. Damn it. Why me? That's graphic already. I can't get caught. Not like this. Gotta find someone to pin this on. It's that guy. We already know it's him. Someone like him. Are you trying to pin this on me? I'll make it look like he did it. How could you? How could you, random guy? August 3rd, 9:47, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. I recognize this area. It's in Justice for All. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Right, I am nervous. Oh, hiya, Chief. This is Mia, right? Yeah. Not just because it flashed on the screen. Woo! I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. I'm under the impression that these graphics are, like, redrawn or something. But maybe I just couldn't really tell the level of detail. Well, I'm thinking for Justice for All. With, like, the screen being, like, this big. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you. And your client as well. Well, it says a lot about you that you're kind of showing me your neck, Maya. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean, you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. Hey, sweetie. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over! Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, who else screams in green text? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. How perceptive of you. Yeah. Oh, it's Butts. It's Larry Butts. Nick! Hey. Hey there, Larry. I forgot they call Phoenix Wright Nick, like Nick for short. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I'm afraid. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. That'll still probably fail somehow. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. Ah, Phoenix Wright loves their puns. That'll become really quite evident as the game goes on. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. Just rolling those D2s. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Phoenix Wright, you're a good man. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. Here we are, we're already in court. And I think we're normally on the left side, but we're not right now. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. And here's the judge, he's such an idiot. This judge in particular. He's as bad as like a wrestling referee. He's like... He's heel like all wrestling referees are heel. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Now it looks like Major Payne is on the right-hand side. But he was just on the left-hand side. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright. This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Oh no! Pop quiz. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hand shaking. Eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. It's Larry Butts is the defendant. The defendant? Well, that is Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I didn't know to start with. Oh, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... wait. Uh-oh. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the R1 button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it off and do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Well, because you're begging. Who's the victim in this case? Can I R1? Cindy Block? Well, it's Cindy. Can I not actually look into it? Cindy Stone, okay. It's close. Victim in this case, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. Winston Payne, that's his name. Of course it is. The game loves their puns. I feel like there's a Phoenix Wright pun that have been missing this whole time. But it's like, what? Is he like a free lawyer? Phoenix, right? I don't know. Or like the Wright, like rises from the ashes at like a phoenix. I don't get it. If you know, please tell me. They even have Cinder Block right here. Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? Getting clobbered in the back of the head with the Thinker statue. She died because she was hit with a blunt object. I don't want to be too blunt, but she was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all of my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Is this how it actually works in court? For the first time? That you're the... Not the prosecuting attorney, but I guess the defending attorney. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. See, I know things. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. Court accept it as evidence. It's rather heavy. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. That's not how court works. You don't just add evidence, like, dramatically in the spur of the moment. I know that much. But, you know, let's suspend our disbelief for the sake of the drama. I'm 10 minutes into this, I'm already like, well, you see, Your Honor. Use R1 to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything. Unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. It's Larry Butts. Twitching. Ahem. Mr. Butts. Is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls, or seeing me. Ever. But what's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you, and was seeing other men. She just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. That's what they call Paris in Paris. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. Indeed. She appeared to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model but did not have a large income. It appears she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who give her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. They don't have to be older, necessarily. Just well off. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering? Objection! My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof. Wince. Look at him wince. He winced in pain over there. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog? I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the after... Now they're backwards again. Maybe it's... like the game camera is from, like, the position of the judge. That would make sense. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Oh. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Uh-oh. He went. What do I do? Stop him from answering. I'll send him a signal. Lie like a dog. Well, see, it's like this. I don't remember. You don't remember. Well then, we'll just have to remind you. I got a bad feeling about this. We have a witness that can prove he did go to the victim's apartment that day. Well, that simplifies matters. Who's your witness? The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The jury doesn't like that. The rabble. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. He saw it, did he? So the actual murderer, we know that already. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is that correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Witness's account. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. Thought he must be in a hurry, because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. Thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. Remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. That's probably just not right at all. Yeah, time of death, between 4 and 5. So, that's a lie right there. That's all we needed to know. How do I objection? Options. No, not that. Oh, I can save, like, whenever. Hang on a second. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there. Save? Because if I can save whenever I want, that's going to be pleasant. That'll save a lot of editing later. So we already know he's lying because the time of the murder was incorrect. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. Is that true? I don't know if some cordless phones? That sounds plausible. The phone that Mr. Sawwood used was one of these. Your Honor, you're getting lost in the weeds here, because it was the wrong time. I have a record of the blackout for your pursual. Electricity to Mrs. Stone's building is out from noon to 6. I mean, that adds up. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. I'm gonna be real cross about it. Alright, right. Right. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is it your client really... is he really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with L1, then point out the contradiction in the testimony. I will. I love how his body's moving, but his head's not at all moving. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. That's fine. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open. That's fine. Thinking it's strange, I looked inside you, but that's fine. I saw her lying there, a woman not moving dead. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but, you know. I quailed and frightened, found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. Objection! It's this one. Why won't it let me choose this? Excuse me? Oh. 1 p.m.? Are you certain? Yes, absolutely. He seems really confident. 1 p.m.? Right. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. Present. Okay. Objection! Why can't I present? Present. Objection! Yeah. Objection! You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. For certain. Frankly? Ah, his name's Frank, I get it. I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was nobody to, no body to find at 1 p.m. Ah. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Oh, look at him sweating. Oh, that. Now he's talking like he's got, like, taffy stuck to the roof of his mouth. Oh, that, Objection! This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Oh, the judge isn't an idiot yet. That's good. Mr. Sawit, why are you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? You're, too focused on the taffy at the roof of my mouth. It's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Alright, let's point out another contradiction. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. The power was out. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. But the power was out. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. But the power was out. You tool bit. I see, you heard a voice saying the time on the taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. I feel sorry that this poor woman got murdered by this moron, in particular. Not even a good criminal. Like, you know what to do. I've got this one. The time of discovery. See, when I found the body, I heard, yeah, yeah. There's a voice saying that, yeah, yeah. The victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. How is that possible when objection? Objection! Hold it right there. Prosecution said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. Uh-oh. You couldn't have heard a television. Or a video. Yeah. Well, the defense has a point. You have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit. No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Ah, his hairpiece came up. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It, must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. Saw it. There's a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. But why is it 3 hours off, though? The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. So let's just look at this stuff again. Statue in the shape of the thinker. It's rather heavy. Is it just not a clock? Like, there's nothing on it that even indicates it's really a clock. But it wouldn't... the electricity wouldn't matter. Anyways. Excuse me. There's a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. I'm gonna press. The murder weapon? Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something? Something's fishy here. I'm not even that convinced about this. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? Oh, it's the serious business music. You with your objections, and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, the statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submit it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes. Your Honor, there's a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Ah. Sometimes you just gotta go with it. It's like, I don't know what the hole is, but there's one. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he... Went to the apartment, knew the victim. That might be too aggressive. Tell me it isn't true that you knew the victim. In fact, you were one of her sugar daddies. Be frank with us, Mr. Frank Sawit. Huh. Frank? I'm always frank. Your Honor, you have complete records of the victim's relationships. Mr. Frank Sawit does not appear anywhere. Huh? Really? Please, Mr. Wright. Is how the best response you can muster up? Try to refrain from making off-the-cuff accusations in the future. Yes, Your Honor. Let me think this over. Because he went into the apartment. The game is being nice to me. You would normally, like, lose a gavel or whatever. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh, yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. Fingerprints should be on it, should they not? I'll do better than that. I'll prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Left quite an impression on her, too. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you're so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Faceless. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw, gah. Oh no, his hairpiece came right off. Shut up, shut up, shut up! I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. The best part of this game, the convicted, like, the guilty party gets, like, busted completely. Their breakdowns, it's the best part. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn! Give him death. Order! Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawat heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... ask the neighbors, I wouldn't imagine. Try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. Certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So he heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? 11:25. Yeah, 3 hours ago. Yeah, he even knows what he just did. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawat heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawat, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! Ha ha! You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? I mean, that's fair. If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawat. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. This is where Mia speaks up. Not so fast, Mr. Sawat. Mia, I mean, Chief. Listen up, right? I'll listen up, right? Alright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking outside of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Because... well, she brought it home with her from Paris. I don't know. The time would be more than 3 hours different. Yes. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. You found evidence to support this claim? Of course. It's a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ah, tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. See See this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. I'm inclined to think it's because they brought the clock with them from somewhere with a different time zone. Because is the thinker from Paris? I really don't know that. Like, that's not a Michelangelo, is it? Because that wouldn't be French. Passport. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. And it's 4 p.m. here. It's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sawwood, or should I say, Mr. Did It. Ah! Ah! Oh, now he's gonna... Oh, here... Hey, he just disintegrated. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, it is only a formality. But this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Hey, Larry Butts. We saved the Butts. And with that, this court is adjourned. We did it, we saved our friend. Turns out that Frank Sawwood was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day. When Larry went into her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawwood let himself in to do the dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawwood grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. Which was a thinker statue. August 3, 232, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew! Still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. Never seen the Chief looking this happy. She's this glad. Imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good, wait, no, I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. Harry Butts. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts. Innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this. Ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. I don't want this. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence? Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Squeeze me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show, your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. I do? What the heck is she talking about? Is it the Thinker statue? Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? It was the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Yeah, now you're not convicted of murder, right? Hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry. You were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah. Part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? Just flirting with you, Phoenix. And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave Mia." Well, you got the experience, Phoenix. It's worth something. I didn't know it then. That clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. Uh-oh. My promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise I wouldn't be able to keep. I wonder why that is. The end. Well, I think that's a great place to end this episode. At the end. Here's the brand new episode that has been added. Episode 2, The Turnabout Sisters. I did not mean to start it already. I will save my progress up to this point. So that's going to be this first episode of Phoenix Wright. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I think this will be a lot of fun. It was good to get the opening trial out of the way. I have no idea how long the rest of these cases are going to be. I'm not really sure how long these games are, even though I have beaten the second one. I didn't really time it, so we'll just kind of work our way through it. So I want to thank you all so very much for joining for this edition of Phoenix Wright. Don't forget the lard, and I'll catch you for the next one, whenever it may be. Unless you have an objection!